Hi, Sally. Can you hear me? Great. Okay, now I just have to invite a few people in here. I gotta try to find Heather. I forget how to do this now. um, I don't know, how do I invite people in here now if they're not already in here? Because I don't have the same. Um, let me see here. No, okay. Okay, if you can invite Shannon, then Shannon can invite other people. That would be great if you can. I just don't even see names. I'm literally like, I have nothing. They've got me so I can't do anything. Hi, Tyler. Thanks, Sally. Hi, Beverly. We're just trying to get people in here because nobody can find us, so it's not as easy when I have a restriction. I wish I could send out invites. I literally have nothing. Is anybody responding to you, Sally, or? Yes, there's sound here. TikTok's after me already. It says you can only send 15 at a time. I can't send any, Sally. I don't even have a place to find them. That's how bad my restrictions are. It's like, there's Faye. Hi, Faye. Faye, can you send out Shannon and Heather an invite? I can't send it to anyone. Sally's trying to send it. Hi, everyone. Heather is Prairie Canuck. Hi, Vince. Hi, Dorothy. Dorothy, can you try to send out Shannon and Heather an invite? I can't send it to anyone. Hi, Nick. Thanks, Dorothy. Sorry it's so quiet, guys. I'm just trying to get people in here because I'm literally so restricted. Anyone who is watching, because we do have eyes on the outside, anyone who is watching, we are going to do a celebration to Golanv's life. Just going to take us a few minutes to get people in here because I'm not allowed to send out any invites at the present time until July the 2nd because there's Heather. Hi, Heather, I see you there. Um, until July 2nd, I'm restricted for being seen. I'm not allowed to be seen. So if you can find me, then you can come in. But if you can't find me, you can't come in. which is sad. But there's Shannon. Now I just got to get Shannon up here. Let me see what I can do here. And Heather, I know you're. Hi, Shannon.
Hi.
I'm going to try to get Heather up there. Sally, did you want to come up and sit with us and talk? I'm going to see. I'm going to try to see if I can get Dorothy up there. I mean, you just don't have to say anything. You can just relax, and there's going to be a presentation. It'll just be nice to have people who knew her well enough, to talk to us later. So, Heather, I tried to invite you up. Again, like I said, you don't have to say anything, but oh, you are up there. That's great.
I realized just now that I could talk and you can hear me.
Yeah, and now I can see if I can get Dorothy up there. I did send you an invite, Dorothy. I don't know how. I think you just have to accept it.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, Heather. I sent out about 40 invites. I sent it to every single person that
That's great.
um, had ever been like, any part of the channel at all.
Yeah, that's great. Hi, Sally. Hi, Shannon. Yeah,
Except I didn't know Heather was on here. So
Heather
I
is
don't think
right.
I'm.
Heather's right beside you, Prairie Canuck, on the
No,
panel.
I know that, but I mean, I didn't know she was on TikTok. This is the first I didn't realize, so I don't think
She
I'm
just
following
came on
her.
in the last little bit. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
We have 55 eyes on the outside, 56, and climbing. Hi, Marie. I'm glad to see everybody's here. Who else would be like that said they were coming for sure today? I think we can probably get started because I think everybody that said they were coming is here. And so let me just explain a little bit here. So this is a presentation that um, I put together just to commemorate the things that she's done, Golanv's done, and what she's brought into our lives, thanks to the Father showing her His truth. And she's touched each and every one of us. And like I had a couple moments making the video, and I had a couple moments today thinking, can I even do this? But um, I am a strong person, so um, I might have a problem putting this on YouTube. If I do, I will put it on Rumble. And the only reason why I say that is because I added videos from Golanv's TikTok that does have some music in it. I wasn't allowed to use any music. I had to find music that was not copyrighted, and I did, thanks to Shannon. um, but in some of her little videos, she has some music. So if they won't let me put it on YouTube, I will put it on Rumble, and so it will be out there. And the other thing is you won't be able to read all of the messages that you're going to see on there with the time span that I had to put them up because, um, of course, the video would have went on forever. It's already an hour and 20 minutes, but it would have went on forever. But when it's on YouTube, you can stop it, pause it, and read everything because there's a lot of nice things said. Anyway, okay, here we go. So I'm gonna get started here. If I can figure out how to do this again. Oh, one other thing, guys, before I start. You guys are probably going to make some beautiful comments in the comments section. But if you put them in while the video is running, it won't show them on YouTube or whatever. So if you have something that you really want to be included in the video, wait until the video is done and then it will show up on the screen. Okay? So here we go. Are you ready?
Hello, hello, hello. How's it going? Yeah, it's boo-boo. I think you were thirsty.
I'm so in love with you, honey, and everything will bring a chain of love. In the morning when I rise, bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything's gonna be alright.
But I got a lot better at that over the years. I used to overwork all of them because I'm a little bit OCD and I want it more real, more real, more real. Of course, the more layers I put on here, the more real it's going to get. Every time I layer something, like I could come on top of this with oils now and it would probably be screaming crazy, but I'd have to charge so much for it, nobody'd ever buy it though. Now, I've been doing some of my portraits, underlaying them with acrylics and then doing the oil on top, and that works really well. I mean, it saves a lot of time and waiting for layers to dry, you know. But nothing blends like oils. This did pretty good though. These are the those open golden acrylics, and they've got like a long extended drying time, so you've got more time to blend than you do with regular acrylics, unless you add a medium to them, and they still don't work as well. These, I can leave this palette laying here a couple of hours and come back and it's still wet, but yet it's acrylics. And you can also take a blow dryer when you're done and dry the whole canvas real quick. So it's pretty versatile. Of course, they cost a lot. I always look around when I need to replace one. I go online and look for sales. I lucked out this last time I got them for 65% off. I don't know how I did that, but I did. It takes about an hour for them to dry on the canvas. And you can dry them instantly with a hairdryer if you want to. If you want to go ahead and put another layer, you can just pop a hairdryer out and for a few minutes. And I got these last ones that I got on sale at Joann's, which is a fabric place. But they have a little craft section.
Deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead
this one's kind of special, and I'm glad I finished it. I hope everybody gets to see this clip. But this is from a dream and from something that Father showed me in the scriptures in Matthew 24:22. And this is my notes. And except those AI days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those AI days shall be shortened. AI G3588 is not translated from the Greek to the English, but it's there in the Greek. And I just wanted to let y'all know, with a special painting, and to honor Abba for what he's done for all of us. He loves us all. I hope you enjoy.
I got a message to deliver about living life to the fullest, yo. I'ma give. Forget the stress, leave your worries behind. It's time to shine, let your spirit unwind. Enjoy your life every day and every night. Embrace the moment, live it up, take flight. No need to worry, no need to strive.
Hey, just thought I'd go live for a few minutes and let y'all see the finished product. I think I'm done with it. After working on this one for many, many hours, but I'm pleased with it, so I think I'm not gonna stop now before I mess it up. But I just thought I would come on live since a lot of people have been watching me. I appreciate all the likes and all the support too. It's been awesome. There's a little bit of glare because it's nighttime, but I'll try to get a better shot of it in the future and when it's not nighttime and show you in the daylight. Yeah, I'm back with another one for you. This is what they failed to teach us about Pontius Pilate. This is going to be a real eye-opener. I hope everybody enjoys it. I'll show you something mind-blowing that I never saw, and I just can't believe that I've gone all these years and didn't see this sooner. I'm thankful to see it now, and I hope more will see it, but it's very scary that we could be in a religion worshiping and practicing that we don't even understand what is there, and yet we're so, I mean, people fight online about all this. I mean, they fight about the text, and they fight about the Old Testament and like following Hebrew roots and stuff, and it's like they have no clue what they're doing at all. And if you don't believe me, just keep watching my videos. Eventually it will sink in that we've been lied to. But it wasn't Jesus that sat on the judgment seat and was the king of Israel and was anointed. It was Herod and Pilate. Yes, I said Pilate. I know people, that's going to blow people's minds. But in Acts 4:27, we have in English, for of truth against the holy child, Jesus, whom thou hast anointed, both Herod and Pilate, Pontius Pilate, with the Gentiles and the people of Israel, were gathered together. Now, when I looked at that sentence and made sure it was accurate, this is what I got. For indeed, in truth, they conspired against the holy child, your Jesus. Herod and Pilate, Pontius Pilate, both being anointed with the nations and the people of Israel. And how do I know this is accurate? From Acts 4:27. All you got to do is go back to John 19:13 and Matthew 27:19. It's both of them tell you that Pilate was sitting on the judgment seat. And then you go back to the Old Testament, Proverbs and Psalms, you know that nobody sits on the judgment seat unless they're anointed king of Israel. And John writes, therefore when Pilate heard these words, he brought Jesus out and sat down on the judgment seat at a place called the Pavement, but in Hebrew it's Gabbatha. In Matthew 27:19, while he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent him a message saying, have nothing to do with this righteous man. For last night I suffered greatly in a dream because of him. And this right here saying righteous man, that was James the Just, who is also called Jesus Christ according to Josephus. That's why she's using righteous man. So she was actually warning about James the Just. And you can read these others from the Old Testament, but I'm telling you, it's there. Fragments of parts of text, and you can see here from Papyrus 66, the story of the adulterous woman, which other Christians have written in their gospel, was written about a certain Papias, a student of John, who was declared a heretic and condemned. Eusebius wrote about this. There are laws in that matter which Pilate, the king of the Jews, wrote of. Sorry about that, my buzzer's going off. But we have Pilate being king of the Jews written by Eusebius, one of the church founders. It's amazing. Once we realize this, we can see other things too, like Luke 13:1. There were some present at that very time who told him about the Galatians, whose blood Pilate had mingled with their sacrifices. So Pilate also was a high priest. And who are the Galatians? They're the Gentiles, because the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, the way of the sea beyond the Jordan, is the Galilee of the Gentiles. We learn that in Matthew 4:15. A lot to take in. Most people don't realize, even though we have like Judges 11 in the Old Testament where Japheth, sacrifices his own daughter, but it doesn't click in their brain for some reason. But when I was going through and looking at a lot of the Hebrew in the Old Testament, I came to Exodus 12:21, and it says, He called Moses to all the elders of Israel, and he said to them, Pull and take out of you, or your sheep, of the multitude, from your families, and slaughter the Pishkal lamb. Well, the lamb is actually the word for a crippled or lame person. Now, how do I know that? Okay, all these little neku here, the little accent marks, weren't until the 11th century AD or CE. So they were not present. So these words are identical. One of them is the Passover, and one of them is the lame. And it literally meant a lame person, a real person. And you can see that when you, to pass over, when you come down here, to be lame, to limp. It's like they're the same word, people. Human sacrifices all throughout the Old Testament, and people don't even see it. When we get to the construction of the Second Temple, they said it lent a new significance to the festival of the Passover, which is the lame person. The Talmudic passage from Second Temple period describes the temple ritual on the 14th of Nisan. The description reflects the procedure at the time of the first temple. So this is 115 BC to 70 AD. Okay, the Pishkal lamb was slaughtered, or the lame person was slaughtered in three groups. When the first group entered the temple court was filled, the gates of the temple were closed. The Torah and again Tekah were blown on the shofar. The priest stood in rows, and their hands were in the basins of the silver and basins of gold, and an Israelite slaughtered his offering. And the priest caught the blood. The priest passed the basin to the fellow priest, and he to the fellows receiving a full basin and giving them back an empty one. The priest nearest to the altar tossed the blood against the base of the altar. While the ritual was performed, the Levites sang Hallel. Okay, and that's from the Talmud Pishkim 64a. Okay, so when Pilate is mixing the blood of the Gentiles in with his sacrifices, and they're tossing them on the altar, then that's the same thing they did according to the Talmud. There are several biblical references indicating that the procedure was followed in Solomon's temple also. Following the rededication of the temple by King Hezekiah, the priests are described as tossing the blood of the Pishkal lamb, or this lame person, upon the altar. It's just sick. And nobody even knows it's there. That's what's so scary. And ironically, Pilate is connected also with Italy. And people don't see that either. He was governor of Judea, and Herod was the tetrarch of Galilee, and Philip was tetrarch of Iturea. Iturea is actually a big section of Italy right there by Rome. Okay. The second inscription, which has been lost, this is talking about a second Pilate stone. They found a Pilate stone, and legend says that Pilate died in exile in Ameria. Ameria is in Italy. Okay, and they found a stone inscribed to Pilate, just like the other Pilate stone, but it's missing, of course. It's gone, it's lost, they say. But this is this is a photo, and it's like, so there was a second Pilate stone in Italy. We can even see this connection to Italy and the Romans being the Jews in Philippians 4:21 through 23. It says, Salute ye every saint in Christ Jesus. There salute you the brethren with me. There salute you all and saints, and specifically those of Caesar's house. Why would he add that? Because they are the Romans. And the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ with you all. Amen. I mean, it's laughable. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. There are two more verses that tell us that the Jews are the Romans. Luke 23:2. And they began to accuse him, saying, we found this fellow perverting the nation, okay, and forbidding to give tribute to Caesar. So they're saying their nation and giving tribute to Caesar, saying that he himself is a Christ and a king. So they're likening Caesar the Christ and king. John 19:15. And they cried out, away with him, crucify him. Pilate said unto them, shall I crucify your king? The chief priests or pontiffs answered him and said, we have no king but Caesar. So they're one and the same. It's amazing. And this one right here, look at that bust, man. He's a priest. He's got the side locks. He looks just like Skovac off of Tanakh Talk. They all mirror these busts. It's crazy. And here we have another verse, Acts 17:5. But the Jews or Judeans, which believed not, moved with envy. This could just be part of them, the Judeans, which believed not, the ones that weren't believing, moved with envy, took unto them certain lewd fellows of the baser sort, gathered a company, and set all the city in an uproar, assaulted the house of Jason, and sought to bring them out to the people. And when they found them not, they threw Jason and certain brethren unto the rulers of the city, and these have turned the world upside down, are come hither also, whom Jason hath received. These all do contrary to the decrees of Caesar, saying that there is another king, one Jesus. It's like, so to say that Jesus was king would say that he's undermining Caesar because that's their king. But people don't see it even though we're reading it right out of the text. What I'm showing you here is the Jews are the Romans, one and the same, according to the New Testament. This is something nobody's going to show you. Like Adam Green and some of these YouTubers that want to deconstruct that Christ even existed, it's like, you can't. It's everywhere. The proof is everywhere. You're just not looking in the right place. Okay, this is a graffiti of Crestus that's in the Palace of Tiberia on Palatine Hill in Rome, Italy. Okay, Crestus is another word for Christ in Latin. This writing also has the word Pilate on it. Now what we see here is two crosses, and a crucifixion happening. But what you don't see in this picture is the one they found on microscopic. There's a third cross in the middle that was taken off to try to hide this. Okay, the translation says, Crestus, after having been beaten with rods and having been condemned to die, has been attached living to the cross. So the inscription even tells us what it's about. And it's scratched on the level ground close at an angle of passages which lie under the structures adjoining the Bridge of Caligula and the neighborhood of the Civilis Victoria. The building is a gallery made by Caligula to connect the palace with the forum. Let's see, it says later incorporated into Nero's Domus Transitory. It's part of the Farmanese Garden. And it's just called the Crucifixion, and it's in the Palace of Tiberius. So did Pilate write his letters to? Tiberius. So who do you think this is about right here? And when do you think it was put on that wall? They're trying to say it was put on there later, but I don't think so. There's no way. And this I found about it. A third cross with a hanging rope behind the central figure is visible on microscopic analysis. So you can actually buy a copy of this print of this, even though this wouldn't be copyright because it's so ancient. But I gave you the web address where I found these pictures, so you can go look at it if you want to. But this is real. I mean, there's no way they can deny that this happened. Because he's even it's like he's carrying up the little sign that they're supposed to put up there, the King of the Jews thing. That's what it looks like. This is hilarious. You can't say it did not happen. And some people believe, because of the crudeness of the picture, that it was done by the soldiers who were active part of the crucifixion on Calvary. So, that being the case, then you would know where it happened. It happened in Rome. It did not happen in the Middle East. It's amazing. You can read this too. I gave you, this is from the same site where they had the picture for sale. It's a print. I don't know what people say. Oh, but that was a Roman form of capital punishment. That was not a Jewish one. Well, they need to go read the Torah then, because they don't know the Torah. Because in Deuteronomy 21:22, this is how people were killed. If a man had committed a sin worthy of death, he is to be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree. Well, when you look at the word for tree, it's talah, eretz, and it's to hang up for display, but with pieces of wood. So this is exactly, and it even says, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt wisely bury him that day. So all this junk about that people don't die on the same, that's just bunk, man, because it's like, it's in the Torah that the same day they're hung up, they have to be buried that day, just like Jesus was. Augustus of Hippo said, the truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose and it'll defend itself. We gotta let it loose, people. Jesus said, you'll know the truth and the truth shall make you free. We do. We're learning the truth. Little by little it's coming to us because we're listening to his words. And he'll heal us with his truth if we let him. Just keep on pushing and sharing this information that Father's given to us so we get it out there. Share my slides, share my videos, use them, make your own videos. I don't care. Whatever it takes, we just got to get it out there. I love you guys. I touched on this in the last video, and I think this is key important to understanding what happened. It's like, there's no way Jesus, as Barabba, the son of the Father, can be Yahweh's son, or related to him, because his kingdom is from above and not of this world. And when you look at the text and you divide it out, it's like Yahweh stuff falls down here, and Jesus and the Father falls in a world that's above this one. Because he said, like in John 18:36, he answered them, he said, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then my servants would fight, that I wouldn't be delivered to the Jews. But now my kingdom is not from here. And it's like, he's even saying who he's going to be delivered over to. And why would he be delivered over to them if they're worshiping his Father? See, that makes no sense. Matthew 7:21. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one that does the will of my Father who is in heaven. So, if you're doing the will of a deity that's controlling this earth and not in heaven in a world above, then that's not the same Father. Okay, because he said, like in Psalms 24:1, a psalm by David, the earth is Yahweh's, with its fullness, the world and those who dwell therein. Job 41:11, who has first given to me that I should repay him. Everything under the heavens is mine. He's making that distinction. So, okay, this is Yahweh's world down here. Exodus 19:5. Now, therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And who took Jesus up on a high mountain and offered him all the earth? That had to be Yahweh, because everything down here is his. Hello everybody, I'm back with a new video for you here. John 3:16, words of the Father who loves everyone. We've all heard this scripture, John 3:16. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. That is correct. Whosoever. That word, if you look it up, it's pas in Greek, and it means all, every, each, the whole, anybody, whosoever believes in him. It's not like it's just for one set of people. So if you don't remember anything else about this video except for this one word, you're doing great. Whosoever, pas in Greek. Individually, each, every, any, all, the whole, everyone, all things, everything, collectively, some of all types. It means everyone. This is extremely important when we compare. Like I told you, parable means compare, and comes from parabola in the Latin. Because when you go back to Jeremiah 30:10 and 30:11, we hear Yahweh saying, "And you do not fear, O Jacob, or James my servant," declared Yahweh, "nor be discouraged for Israel," which is another name for Jacob or James. "For look, I am saving you from afar, and your seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return and have rest and be at ease, with no one to trouble him." And verse 11, "For I am with you, declares Yahweh, to save you, though I make a complete end of all the nations where I have scattered you. Yet I will not make a complete end of you, but I shall reprove you in judgment, and you will by no means leave you unpunished." So this is in direct contrast to what Yahweh says in the Old Testament. Jesus came to save everyone, not one nation. Yahweh only saves one group. To include this too, so you have a copy. This is my mechanical translation, or my breakdown of the literal, what's there in the Greek. "For in this manner the God so loved the world, the cosmos, so that he gave his one-of-a-kind, a monogene, from a single gene," that means he came from the Father, he was not born, "Son, in order that all believe in him will not perish but have eternal life." Now when I say monogene, that's in contrast to firstborn, which is in the other Gospels. Firstborn means that you're the firstborn of other siblings. A monogene is a one, unique, one-of-a-kind individual. So this is not the same Jesus that's in the other Gospels. This is also not the same Father that is in the Old Testament. How do I know that? When you look at John 8, chapter 8, I've got several verses here. I started with 31 because this tells you who he's speaking to. And it's not who you think, because he said, "Speaking therefore, he, Jesus, with regards to these thinking him Judean." And if you look that up, it's to think to be true. They thought he was Jewish. "If you remain in my word, the words of me, you are truly my disciple." So a true disciple of him will remain in his words. Okay, Jesus said to them, "If God were your father, you would love me,
For I proceeded forth and came from God, neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Okay? There again, we're talking about one that was sent, not born. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because ye cannot hear my words. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father will ye do. He was an unaliver from the Genesis, or beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. So he's saying there's no truth in the one from the Old Testament, from the Genesis. When he speaks a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. So he was speaking the truth, telling them that they were not from the same father, but yet nobody believed him. They couldn't even hear him. So much propaganda and agenda that nobody could hear him. It's because they don't realize that he is the red dragon with the 7 heads from Revelation 12:13. How do I know this? Just look at the scriptures from the Old Testament. Ezekiel 14:9. And if the prophet is deceived and shall speak a word, I, Yahweh, have deceived that prophet. Okay? So he's saying he's the one that did it. Jeremiah 4:10. Then he said, Ah, Master Yahweh, truly you have greatly deceived this people. And Jerusalem saying, Peace is for you, whereas the sword reaches to your heart. So he's sending the sword, not peace. Not what Jesus brought. 1 Kings 22:22. And Yahweh said to him, In what way? And he said, I shall go out and be a spirit of falsehood in the mouths of the prophets. And he said, Entice him and also prevail. Go out and do so. And see now, Yahweh has put a spirit of falsehood or lies in the mouth of these prophets of yours, and Yahweh has spoken evil concerning you. So he was actually speaking evil, having the prophets speak evil. This is not Father in heaven. Jesus goes on to tell them, and we've got in English, if you were Abram's children, you would be doing the works Abram did. Okay, when I looked at this, I was shocked, because it says, but now man seeks to kill me. The truth spoken which I heard from the divine, that Abram did not sacrifice. How do I know that? We can go back to the Greek Septuagint, which is from 300 BC to 200 BC, and know that this literally meant to sacrifice. He wasn't talking about just works. He was talking about the sacrificial system. That's not of love. Unaliving something is not of love. We also have the writings from the Middle Ages of the Jewish text to let us know that this is not what they thought. The Midrash, and I can't pronounce that right, Shembol Lekti, I think is how you say it. When Father Isaac was bound on the altar and reduced to ashes, and his sacrificial dust was cast on Mount Moriah, the Holy One, blessed be he, immediately brought him dew and revived him. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who quickens the dead, is what they have in there. They also have this in the Midrash Leka Tob, the God of Abraham, the fear of Isaac, for Isaac was in the grip of fear, and he lay bound atop the altar, and his soul flew out of him, and the Holy One, blessed be he, restored it to him by means of dewdrops for the resurrection of the dead. So they believed that he was sacrificed, but Jesus tells us that Abram did no sacrifice. That's because Father loves everybody. Father is light, and in him is no darkness. Yahweh dwells in thick darkness. And Moses met him in the thick darkness. We have to really look and compare everything we're looking at. We have a new commandment from Jesus, given to us in John 13:34. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I loved you, that ye also love one another. He said it twice. This is all we got to do. And it is new. It's not renewed. It says it's expressed as recently made, new in species, character, and mode, new to the possessor, unheard of. So it's a new commandment. Let's just love everybody, people. We got to try. Hello, everybody. Most people are unaware that there are two Jesuses in the text of the New Testament. There's Jesus Barabbas and Jesus Christ. Okay. Jesus Barabbas, means son of the Father. This adds a whole nother layer of irony to the people's choice. And this people's choice is very, very important because it could indicate to us the real Jesus. Origen, who was one of the early Christian scholars, theologian, spent his first half of his career in Alexandria. He was a prolific writer who wrote about 2,000 treatises in multiple branches of theology, on textual criticism, exegesis, hermeneutics, I can never say that, and apologetics and stuff. Okay, when we look at the Jewish Encyclopedia article 2477 on Barabbas, we see a statement Origen reports in several manuscripts of the Gospels he had seen the name given as Jesus Barabbas, or Jesus son of Abba. Accordingly, the first name was afterward omitted from the manuscripts of the Gospels when the name of Jesus had become sacred. So he's telling us about a name change that occurred early on. And this man lived, he was born in 185 AD and died in 253 AD. So that's pretty significant. Call me crazy, but I think the crowds wanted Barabbas because he was the real Savior. We have him telling us in Matthew 24:4-5, see that no one deceives you. That's when he asked what the end of the age would be like. For many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and they will deceive many. When we read that, we've been told it means there'll be a bunch of little mini Christs running around. That don't think that's true, because the word in means epi in Greek, and epi means upon or superimpose literally. So you could read that, for many will come, superimpose my name, saying, I am the Christ. Or many will come upon my name, saying, I am the Christ. They're not going to be a bunch of little mini Christs running around. We know the chief priests and the scribes in Luke 22:2, they sought how they might put him to unalivement, but they feared the people. Okay, these are the same people over here, and you see in this picture, screaming for him to be released. And they're screaming Barabbas, which means son of the Father. The people knew who the real one was. John 18:40. Then they all shouted again, saying, not this man, but the son of the Father, Barabbas. Now, the son of the Father, and in Greek it says, was not a robber, or not a murderer. They dropped the negating particle to make it look like he was. It's crazy. There's a lot of negatives in Greek, in ancient texts, even in the New Testament. Now let's think about this. Where were all of Jesus' supporters? Where were the crowds that traveled long distances to see him? Or even the local fans? Where were the apostles? Where was the blind man saying, free Jesus, for I was blind and now I see? Where was the deaf man? The lame man? Jesus' mother and brothers? The centurion whose daughter was healed? The bleeding woman? Mary Magdalene? Where was the father whose son was possessed? Where was Lazarus saying, free Jesus, for I was unalive, and Jesus made me alive again? Where was Zacharias saying, free Jesus, for I was short, nerdy, tree climber, and Jesus hung out with me anyway? Where were the large crowds that spread cloaks, palm branches, and sang as they entered Jerusalem? Where were the droves that were healed, or the thousands who were fed? Where were the legions of the sick crying out, "Free Jesus," so that we too might be healed? Where were all those people? If the crowds always gathered around the one called the Christ, why would they all of a sudden want to kill the Christ one, the one that had done all these wonderful things, and free the one named Barabbas? We've got to think logically. It's like Luke 23:18, and they cried out together, "Away with this man, release to us Barabbas, son of the Father," is what they were saying. Um, and see, the priest in Matthew 27:1, when morning came, all the chief priests and the elders of the people took counsel against Jesus, put him to unalivement, and they bound him and led him away and delivered him over to Pilate the governor. So they were calling for unalivement, but the people were probably calling for him to be let go. John 12:19. So the Pharisees said to one another, "You see, you are gaining nothing. Look, the world has gone after him." They already knew. They knew the world would go after the real Jesus. The real Jesus is Jesus Barabbas. Now, I have a long video on this with lots of research to prove it. I'm going to put a link in the comments so you can link directly to it. And I hope this blesses you. And I hope that the Son of the Father will bless you by watching this. Thank you. Now, what do we do now that we know this? We go home to Father. We're the prodigal children, and we go home to Father, and He's happy we're back home. Luke 15:20. And he rose and came to his father, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him, and he felt compassion for him, and he ran and embraced him, and he kissed him. And the son said to him, "Father, I've sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father said to the servant, "Bring quickly the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet. And bring the fattened calf, and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For this my son was dead, and is alive again. He is lost, and he is found." And they began to celebrate. It is fitting to celebrate and be glad. Your brother was dead, and is alive. He was lost, and he is found. Our brother, our friend, Jesus was lost. We found him, and we were lost, and we've been found, and we all go back to Father. That's where we belong. I love you guys so much, and I hope that this does not cause anybody to lose faith. I hope it gives them more faith. It should. It should give you more faith, not cause you to lose faith. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm going to try to unmute Heather. I don't know how to do that. Oh no. Poor Heather. I guess she has to unmute. It says invite her to unmute. So if you want to speak, Heather, you have to unmute on your end. And all you do is press the three dots that's above your picture. And it'll say unmute. Anyway, guys, that was our presentation. We have 118 people on the outside, and we've had up to 18 on the inside. So we've had a good crowd, and I'm really happy to see that for her sake. I know she's not here. She
Yeah.
is in spirit, but I know there's a lot of people that love her. And I'm grateful to see that they came, and I welcomed them to come in and talk. So
Thank you for doing this. I know it was a lot of work, but
it's my
so beautiful.
my pleasure. I did the best I could with the pictures I had. I tried to get more pictures. Those were pictures that Galanin actually gave all of us. She put them in one of the. She gave me some privately, but she put some in one of the chats, like the um, the live chats on Discord. If you go back in there, there's pictures in there. So I just went searching
Hmm.
and found them. So and Marie, or sorry,
Well, I'm glad you found them.
yeah, and Kim gave me a few as well. So and Sally gave me a few. So I
Good.
just collected a few up, and that's what we had.
Good.
Anyway,
I did a
anybody who
bit.
wants to come up, I mean, go ahead, Sally. But anybody that wants to come up and speak, absolutely come up.
I just was going to say you did a beautiful job of putting that together, and it was really touching. And just the very very beginning, with the hello, hello, hello.
I know, right?
Um, it, yeah, that hit me hard in my heart just hearing that, and
That's
I
her
just like,
signature.
it is. I miss her so much.
Yeah,
That was beautifully done. So thank you so much for doing it.
my pleasure. It says viewers may not hear me
Yeah.
very well. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Good.
There's
Have,
a little bit of distortion, but I don't know what that is. Yeah. When it first started out, Sally, same thing that hit me.
yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing
It
is
was
that we
almost
can
like she
hear
was here with us.
the
It
whole
was such
time,
a
right?
great.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a great way to start because it felt like we were doing a live. It felt like we were doing it. It felt like 6 months ago, and that she was with us, and that was just a really, really beautiful way to start it. Captured everybody.
We are very fortunate that we can go back and watch her videos. She's given us so much in the studies, but her videos also captured her personality, and we get to hear that anytime we want to. So we are very fortunate. We're blessed.
I don't think she realized how calming of a voice and how good of a presenter that she was.
I don't think she realized how loved she was.
I
I
don't think she realized. I
I
think maybe.
remember a time early on when the ones that really like showed her love um, started coming in, and she said to me, "Is this real? Is this what people really like when they love somebody? This is what it's like." And I was
Oh,
blown away to hear it. It was like, you know, yes, this is what love is, guys.
yeah.
There's a lot of love in here. So,
She expressed that to me on my on the trips when I went to see her. She said I'm getting touched up talking about it. She said I finally found my family. I know how grateful she was for the Discord and everybody coming in and all the support, and the TikTok lives and everything. So I do feel that she felt like she was loved at the end. At least I certainly hope so.
well, look at how even as sick as she was, except for the very last few lives that we did, even like Shannon and I did one alone, and she came on, and she was so sick, but yet she came anyway because she didn't want to
Oh,
miss them. She wanted to be there.
yeah.
So,
I know. She said that when I was there visiting with her when she was so sick. She said she wanted to be at her computer and working, but she just was, that was when she was declining and wasn't able to. And
yeah. I have a
um,
lot of pictures of Galanin that I wouldn't put on here because I didn't want to show her illness. But
yeah,
there's so many pictures of her sitting at her desk, like in the very last few days. Um,
uh,
that's where she wanted to be, you know.
yeah.
She wanted to be
That's
behind.
where she felt comfort. That's where
Yeah,
she probably where she felt father and she felt comfort and wanted to. And I get that after how all the time that she spent, 12, 15 hours a day, she would sit in that chair and study. So that was her place.
Yeah. No, she had a true, deep love for the Father and for all of us. So I know that she would be happy to see this. She would be shocked because she never believed that you know, she didn't believe she did enough. She was saying that right to the very end. I hope I did enough.
No. No.
So, but I believe she did more than enough because she gave us information um, that's going to be priceless for us. Well, it is priceless for us because even if we, Shannon, like you and I have always said, even if we didn't get any more information, this will get us through. So that was love. Her giving us that, her studying is like she
Yeah.
did, and giving us this information is the greatest form of love that you can um, give anyone.
Yeah. And not only did she give us, she taught us how to study,
Exactly. Right up
you know,
until the
how
last
to,
couple days, like I told you before, like we were
mm,
on a chat or like on the telephone. We're actually talking on the telephone. We're both working on the computers, studying back and forth till almost 1 o'clock in the morning. A few days before she passed away, she was still,
Wow.
that was the last day that she could actually really speak much to me on the phone. Um, but she was still talking and she was still teaching and I'm not saying teaching. She was showing me how and where to look, not what to look at. You know what I mean? Like she will never would never admit to being a teacher. She was just somebody who studied hard and wanted to share her findings. Um, and I'm so grateful she did.
me too.
Hmm.
Me too.
If anyone
And
wants to,
I'm glad we have all this information
yeah, for sure, right?
that we can go back and look at and do more lives on, and
Hmm.
whenever we get to do that again, whenever the
If
powers that be
if TikTok doesn't,
get
if
their act together.
well, I don't know what's going to
Yeah.
happen now because they were warning me early that it was the same restriction that I was given before. So I don't know what's going to happen, but the
They
good
did
thing,
that,
the good
but
thing
they didn't take
is
it down. That's weird. So they informed you like right when this started.
they did. They put a big sign up. So
They okay.
it said it was unoriginal content. I don't know how much unoriginal it can be when I put it
That's,
all together myself, but hey, you know, it doesn't it doesn't matter what I do because they just don't like the information we're putting out. I mean, the last video that we
no,
got struck with was the AI video, right? So they
you're
didn't like
just
that.
flagged. They
Yeah.
have you flagged.
Yeah, exactly. But
Alen,
yeah.
Alen,
Hmm.
please tell me. I forgot. You did push record, right?
I absolutely did. That was the very first thing I did. Was like record.
Okay.
So yes, I did. Um, thanks,
Good.
Shannon. But you were supposed to remind me that in the beginning, not
I
the
know,
end.
and I failed.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I did it. But what I was going to say about that recording, because when they send me that, restriction thing, they told me that like they won't let me see these videos if I were to save it on TikTok. But Nick has it set up so that I don't even have to worry about TikTok. It gets saved right to my computer. I don't even have to go looking for it where Golanv used to have to go looking for it. I don't have to do that. It just automatically saves to my computer and I deal with it from there. So thank the
Good.
Father for Nick because I couldn't do any of this without Nick.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
yeah, he's there. He might be sleeping, but he's there. So, but yeah, our followers tonight, guys, did not drop. So we started like we have 122 outside, but they didn't drop. It never went down. It just kept climbing all night. So I'm so happy that you guys. I mean, I know that you didn't come in, but I'm so happy that you're here. You are more
Yeah.
than welcome to come in, though. So we'd love to have you
Yeah.
guys come in. if anybody has any thing they want to, have in this video from here forward, because it's almost over, um, you can put messages in there now that are going to be that will stay on the video. Um, Anything that was when the video was playing, they didn't get recorded, but now they'll be on the video. So if anybody wants to put anything, that's the time to put it in. Oh, he is there. Nick says I am here. We appreciate it, Nick. Anyway, guys, if nobody has anything else to say, I mean, we could sit here and just in silence, we could just stay on here, but it's going to be one that's, I think we'll get a few views on after it's put up on YouTube. So.
I think they'll get a lot of views on YouTube. I mean, TikTok doesn't have anything to do with us putting it on YouTube, right? You're free
No,
and clear with
no,
that.
I can put it on YouTube, but the only problem I
Okay.
might have with YouTube is TikTok didn't have a problem with Golanv's videos of her painting because she did them on TikTok. So they didn't have a problem with it. But YouTube has a problem with the music. So if there is a problem posting it to YouTube because it's copyrighted music in her little short videos there, and I know it's only little excerpts, which is generally okay. But in my research to do this video, I found out that I had to have um, like copyright free music to put it on here. So
That's crazy.
yeah, it is. But I mean, you think about it. I mean, somebody created the music; they want to be paid for it, right? So um, I looked to see if it was, for a memorial, if it was okay, and they said no. And it's very expensive if you buy the rights to just do a video like this. So Shannon did find a site that did the free. That's where I got the music that's on here. It wasn't the music that I wanted, but at the same time, it turned out okay. So um, I,
It
I,
turned
Music
out
I,
it,
is great.
pardon?
I said the music was great.
Yeah,
I was going to say I thought it turned out exactly the way Father wanted it. I thought it was great too.
yeah. Could you do the volume down for the music part? Or I couldn't touch. I don't have the control, Faye. Unfortunately, that the volume part comes on your end. If you guys want it up or down, you have to do it. On my end, when I put a video in, it just does whatever the volume was already in the video. So I couldn't do. I tried. I wanted to, but I couldn't do that. So anyway, it was a labor of love doing it because it's my way of grieving. Um, I don't grieve the same way other people do, and um, so I needed to do something like this. It got me through, as well as everything that we're doing right now as far as our personal lives. I know that the Father has been giving us this journey so that I could make it through this. So He always does that with me. Puts my focus on something else so that I don't have to hurt so bad. So
He has perfect timing
He has perfect
in
timing. Yep.
everything. And I know you know this, other people don't, but when I got the news about artist, I happened to be at the beach and I got the call and I stepped out of the elevator where the elevator door opened on one of the floors and like they had a desk in the lobby and this great big painting was of koi fish.
Oh
And
yeah.
it literally stopped me in my track, because I was feeling sad and everything. And the door opened. I mean, and I literally grabbed my phone and I went back up to the floor and took pictures. And I said, it just felt it was funny. I mean, that just made me feel like her presence.
Yep.
It was just an ironic. I don't believe in coincidences. It was just an ironic thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I don't believe in coincidences, coincidences either. I think that things happen, on purpose.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. I
yeah.
think I was Father put me at the beach. That's my, you guys probably remember, that's my happy place. And
Yeah, yeah,
it was good that I was there. I spent most of that trip, in prayer, and it helped a bit. So,
yeah. Well, what do you guys say? I mean, the numbers are still climbing here for people on the outside. Anybody wants to come up and talk? Um, Wendell, we don't know um, what the next video will be. Um, at this point, Shannon and I are only reiterating what Galanin has put out. When the Father reveals something new to us that we've studied out and we have proof for, then we will present what we find. But until that time, um, I think Father doesn't want us revealing information, just knowledge of whatever's out there. I think he wants us listening and revealing what he's already given us. I mean, I know that a lot of the people in here um, might be like looking for more information. There is some things we will be working on, but it's Father's already given you the information that Galanin has found, and there's a lot of people that don't have that yet. There's a lot of people who haven't heard it yet. So by us reiterating it, there are new people that are coming in all the time. If the Father wants us to be mouthpieces for new information, he will put it on our hearts. So um, that's all I can say about that. Because I'm not somebody, and neither is Shannon. Um, we're not big talkers. Um, so it's really difficult for us to do lives. We do it anyways because the Father has put us in this position, and we both say to ourselves, "Why us? Why did He choose us?" Um, I think it's because He knows that we're going to put out His truth, and we don't need to hear our voices. We want to hear what He has to say. So I believe that's where we are. Am I right, Shannon?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, that doesn't mean to say that Shannon and I and the others in the group aren't seeking and aren't looking in other places and looking, and talking to the Father. That doesn't mean we're not. It just means until we are concrete, like she was, we won't be like revealing anything outside of Father's truth on this channel. So until He gives us something else, we say nothing. We just reiterate, and then there will be other people that will come in and you know but all the information that's out there, all the videos that she has, you heard her in her video here tonight. She wants everybody to take those videos. I mean, we we literally pass around flash drives of the information. Um, we give the PDFs. We have the videos out there. People can freely take them, cut them up, make smaller videos, make your point. Get them out there. Tell people. That's what our job is to do. Get Father's truth out there. I don't believe that we're going to know everything. I do not believe that we are going to find the answers to all the different things that have happened. Um, we'll keep seeking because we are inquisitive and we do want to know things. But at the same time, um, I'm more than happy to use my voice to let Father's voice come through and not be heard. Like if I could put a bag on my head, disguise my voice, I would do it. You know, not to be seen or heard, and let him speak through me. And Galanin has enough information that the Father has given her that I don't know if anybody really can see some of the stuff that I'm constantly on TikTok going and commenting to people and trying to get people to come to the YouTube channel. Just simple little things that I've learned over the almost 2 years or year and a half here um, in this group. I share as much as I can, and I get backlash all the time, but I'm like she is. Like they're not backlashing at me. They're backlashing at the Father because they don't believe. I mean, I look at everyone, all the people that are out there that are sharing what they believe is the Father's truth because they believe whether it's Yahweh or Yahuwah or Buddha or whoever they're worshiping, they believe with all their might and all their hearts that that's the true Father. We have to show them that it's not. We have to show them that um, we were once deceived like that as well. I mean, I believed that Yahweh was the Father. I was in the Hebrew stuff, you know. Um, when I learned the truth about Paul, I ran from that as fast as I could, you know. So, um, yeah, so that's our job is to reiterate what we have until the Father gives us what He wants us to say. So, if you have anything to add, you guys, you go ahead.
No, I think you summed it up pretty well.
I just know we get a lot of questions, and I know there's a lot of people that have said things like on different chats and stuff like that that, you know, um, well, this group's pretty much over because she's gone, and we don't know, we don't have the same knowledge and this and that, but she's her her information is still here and still going. Um, it's the Father's truth. She never looked at this group as hers. She never looked at the videos as hers. She looked at all this stuff as Father's information. So if we leave the group because she's not here anymore, or if we don't interact and try to, study more and bring out more of Father's truth together, um, we're walking away from Him, not us. It's like nobody's walking away from us. you know, if I was by myself, I'd continue to do what I'm doing. I might not get very far. The Father's going to be helping me just like He helped me get here. And that's how I look at it. I'll continue. That's what she wants. She wants everyone in here just to continue. I mean, if everybody went off on their own, but they knew Father's truth and they were still sharing it, we're still together. We're still a part of the same truth. So divide the videos up and um, share. And
Yeah,
if anybody
exactly.
needs them, if anybody doesn't have access to them and wants access to them, you know, I can't pay for every flash drive, but if somebody wants to um, order like through Amazon or something a flash drive and deliver it to my house and give me their address, I'll send you off a flash drive with all the videos, and then you can use that flash drive to cut the videos up and make your own. Add to your own words and add to
Yeah,
your own whatever you want to do.
yeah. I can. They can request one for me. Now that I have a computer,
Right,
I can make copies and send them out as well.
right. So that's great. I mean, lots of people on here have the flash drives now, so they can all just keep sharing the information and, you know. Anyway, guys, I think
That's
I'm
what we're gonna do.
pardon?
That's what we're gonna do.
That's what we're going to do. I agree. I'm just reading Faye's comment here. Oh, it's my pleasure, you guys. And I mean, I did a lot of praying about how to put it together, so I know the Father was part of that video. So,
Definitely.
yeah. Okay, guys, I am going to say goodnight unless somebody else has something to say. Um, we'll just call it a night, and
Okay.
Thank you for putting it together and thank you for inviting me up. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it.
well, you meant a lot to her too, so,
Yep.
and you mean a lot to me too, Sally, so,
Thank you.
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yep. Thank you. And, thanks for everyone for coming and sharing.
Yes, I'm grateful
And
you're
it
all
was a
here.
very nice evening.
It
Yes, it
was.
was.
It was a very nice.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. We'll see you on
Good night,
YouTube. We'll
everyone.
see you
Thank
in
you.
Discord. Night, guys.
All righty. Good night.
I don't even know how to get out of here anymore. Oh dear. I'll figure it out.